Thanks, Julie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly market recap. I am Catherine Murray. Well, we are seeing North American equity markets trade a little bit lower today, but stepping back, importantly, we had the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 hit new record highs yesterday. TSX hit a record, but it was the record we saw back in March, April of 2022. So, in other words, markets continue to move higher. We had gold hit 2,200 for the first time, and it has since retreated, but nonetheless, a new record for gold. WTI trading a little bit lower, and the Canadian dollar lower versus the US dollar. We'll get to that in a second. Why are we seeing, let's start with those US markets first, why are we seeing such strength in those US markets? Really driven by dovish central bank commentary, maintaining what we heard from the US Federal Reserve, maintaining rate cuts in 2024. Also, of course, continued economic strength in the United States. Existing home sales surpassed expectations yesterday. That really boosted the markets. Also, solid Philadelphia Fed manufacturing data. And also, of course, a continued very strong job market in the United States. Importantly as well, the breadth of the market is increasing. In other words, it's not just the AI stocks or the diabetes GLP-1 stocks. We are seeing a broadening out of investors wanting to really get back into other areas of the market. That's very important from a healthy market perspective. And in fact, 25% of the S&P 500 has hit a 52-week high. So again, broadening out, more stocks are participating in this move higher. Interestingly, perhaps tomorrow is actually the 4-year anniversary of the COVID low in the markets. It's hard to believe it's been 4 years. In terms of some stock-specific stories to watch, Nike is under pressure, down by about 8% following their most recent results and their guidance. Lululemon down 18%. Their fiscal year guidance disappointed investors. They're talking about slower U.S. traffic and also more competition within the space. FedEx, a big bright spot on the back of their earnings, helping the market. And also, we've had a couple of successful IPOs. Remember, the IPO market has been very quiet over the past year or so, but Reddit debuted yesterday and surged on their opening. The negatives, of course, in the broader market, North American markets, that is, structural upward pressure on rates or inflation in the United States, deficit concerns, election concerns, and of course, also geopolitics. Switching over to the TSX, as I mentioned, it is trading lower today, but we did hit the record that we saw back in 2022. So obviously a lot to catch up on over the past couple of years. We're seeing some specific strength in material stocks. They're up by about 12%. Over the past month, energy up by 10%. Those two sectors alone comprise 32% of the TSX benchmark. So when you see those sectors work, it helps the overall market. I'd also just point out that with the strength that we're seeing in the U.S. economy, that is really helping the U.S. dollar. So we are seeing the Canadian dollar pull back in relation to the U.S. dollar. Also, of course, inflation came in cooler than expected, 2.8%. We saw bond yields decline as well as the Canadian dollar decline on the back of that. Importantly as well, existing home sales here in Canada were down by 3.1% month over month, so a little bit of pressure there. And the employment insurance is up 18% year over year here in Canada, so more people needing employment insurance. So a bit of a different picture. Our economy in terms of what we're seeing here versus the strength that we're seeing in the United States right now. And on the back of that, as much as the TSX has done better as of late, not playing catch up to the same extent that we're seeing in the United States. Also, just to point out, retail sales did decline by more than expected. So that's also another point of concern as it relates to the economy. Lastly, the market is expecting that the BOC, the Bank of Canada, will in fact cut rates in June. Of course, we'll wait to see what the other economic data will dictate and where inflation stands. Julie, I'll leave it there. Back to you.